Hi, I'm Michael Bartlett, and I've been running for about 5 years now, and I'm training for a goal of a 135 half marathon in Myrtle Beach on October 17th.
Hey, my name is Jack Stevenson. I've been running for on and off about 20 years, but more seriously here in the last 4 to 5 years, and everything he just said, 135 Myrtle Beach in October. Looking forward to it.
Hi there, my name is Joel. I'm running the Georgina Marathon on October 17th with a goal of qualifying for Boston with a time of 3 hours, 20 minutes, and 10 seconds.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to DevRunner. My name is Paul. I'm a certified running coach, and this is lucky episode 13 of Chasing PRs. This series follows the runners on screen with me as they execute training plans that I've designed to help them reach their racing goals on October 17th, 2021. I'll be sharing running tips, advice to help everyone become a faster, stronger, and healthier runner. So please like, comment, subscribe, and ding that bell so that you get notifications whenever I post a new video. You can follow everybody on screen on Strava. The links are below. Now, if you've been following this series, you know that these guys are at the tail end of their speed phase of their training. Michael and Jack, in fact, just completed their 5K time trials a few days ago. We'll be discussing that in detail. And Joel, as you may have learned last week, is still recovering from a hamstring injury. And we'll talk about our plans to get him back in the game in time for race day. So stick with us. It's chock full of running tips in this one for sure. And just to jump right in, Michael, please talk about your last 7 days, especially your 2 days of speed work leading up to the big time trial last weekend.
Yeah, so I was just sort of looking back at the week. So yeah, we had a little lighter week, I guess you'd say, as far as distance, but the intensity was cranked up quite a bit. Tuesday we did was a track day. Unfortunately, the weather had other plans, so I had to do it on the treadmill again. It was slimmed down a little bit because we had a time trial on Saturday. So that consisted of a 400, an 800, a 1600, an 800, and a 400.
Yep.
The times are really well. I was really consistent. 88 on the 400, 306, 800, 636 on the mile, 318 on the second 800, and 85 seconds on the last 400.
Nicely done. So you pushed hard at the end there.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a good run. Just it's hard to grind that out on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Then I had 6 miles the next day, just easy, but I could definitely tell. I'm feeling like peak mileage on these legs.
Yeah.
I'm just tired.
Yep. Makes perfect sense. I mean, like you said, you came off of a 38-mile week the week before, which was your highest mileage ever. So, it's to be expected.
Right. And then just an easy run Friday, and then the time trial, the 5K time trial on Saturday. So we did a couple mile warm up, and then we went to the park and we ran that 5K. And it's pretty much a 1K loop, so it's five laps around the park. And it went really well. Yeah, I ran a 20 minutes and 22 seconds.
Which is awesome. I mean, I would like you to remind people of what your former 5K PR was.
I don't remember exactly. I feel like it was like 2050 or 2040 something when we ran it.
Yeah, and I know, when we ran it one time, it was a 2105 or something like that. So I mean, you took some significant time either way, you took some significant time off of your 5K PR, and you did it on tired legs, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I didn't really know how to feel about this run because like I started out feeling good. My splits were 6:32 and then 6:45 and 6:45. I felt strong the first mile, but then, it just sort of caught up to me like the tired legs.
Yeah.
And I really, that was like as fast as I could go, that 6:45. Like I didn't feel like I could push at all. And, Jack will talk about his, he killed it, but I just didn't have any kick left in me like towards the end of that. Like that was it. It was
Yeah. And we talked a little bit offline about this, probably an hour after you guys finished it last weekend. And I want you to see this in as positive a light as possible, Michael, because as we just said, you're on tired legs. You've been through 12 weeks of progressively harder training, not just with speed but with distance, and you still managed to best your previous PR by, even if you take the faster of the two possible PRs, you still took it out by 25 seconds. So dude, you should be nothing but incredibly happy with what you managed to do, because you guys have got 1 week left of speed work and then a 2-week taper before you go into your half marathon. But I know if you guys manage to go into very careful recovery mode after the half marathon is over, you guys are going to both go sub 20, I think, rather easily. I'll take bets, but I'm always going to be betting on the, I think mid 19s for both of you guys. So with that said, sir, what other thoughts do you have before we move over to Jack?
Yeah, I mean, that's really all I had. I was initially a little bit discouraged with the time on that time trial. But I think, the longer, I sort of thought about it and talked with you about it, it was a good effort. So, I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I really hope so. I hope you see it as a positive thing because, nobody, I'm not going to say nobody, it's very rare to PR when you're time trialing in the middle of a training block because you're tired. You know what I mean? If you do, that just means if you do PR or you do smash any kind of PR that you had before when you're time trialing, that just means that you've made unbelievable strides in your fitness over the training block and probably even before the training block started. It usually means that it's been a long time since you time trialed or raced that distance. So, the fact that you've got a new PR in 5K, hats off to you, man. Be happy. It proves nothing except for the fact that you are in exactly the shape you need to be in going into your half marathon. You should fully expect to run sub 135, dude. I mean, it's no hyperbole there. You're set to go. Just be careful over the next 3 weeks, and you'll be rocking it at Myrtle. With that said, Jack, let's hear about your week, your two speed days and your time trial.
Awesome. Yeah, so very similar to Michael, kind of already covered what we were doing over the days. Me too, on Tuesday, ran into, I feel like I say it every week, weather issues that prohibited us from hitting the track yet again. So I was actually on the treadmill earlier part of the day than Michael. Ran the same workout. I really try to take some conscious advantage of, because we were running less distance on this. I wanted to see what I could do to rev that machine up as much as I could, without breaking it or killing myself. So I think for a treadmill track workout, if we can call that, I think it probably went as well as it probably could have gone. 400s. I like Michael. I was very consistent on the two 400s. First one was 121. Last one was a 120. The first 800 to 245, second 800 244, and then the mile of 554.
Nicely done.
And that was again on the treadmill. So it's like I said, you can only those are treadmill ish times because you have to ramp up, and so the times are kind of just you just take the best guess. I mean, really.
Yeah, exactly. The treadmill is not going to ramp up in speed at the same pace that you would ramp up if you were at the start line on the track.
Oh, let's go. So hopefully next time we do some track, we can actually make it out there. So Thursday with the 6 mile, it was finally, we welcomed some really nice, cool, crisp weather into our region that day. So I wanted to take, I felt I was feeling pretty good after a Wednesday rest. So I took the 6 miles. I did not incorporate any strides or any tempos or anything like that, but I did want to steadily just kind of think about keeping everything moving. So I felt pretty good with that. I averaged a 7:19 pace on that and I did not feel like I was overexerting anything. And I knew coming on Friday, getting ready for this thing on Saturday, I just wanted to really keep Friday just very, very, very light on that, which I did. Moving into the time trial with Michael, we ran this thing together. And like tradition with me on Saturday, my watch decides to go fluff. And Michael and I were running, and I got about a half mile into it, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm not recording. So it was
lucky we had his watch, right?
Yeah, so I started it at about, I guess it was about a half mile or somewhere along that line. So what I have recording was 2 miles 2.52 miles for a time of 15 minutes 53 seconds. So we're kind of, Michael's kind of officially saying we'll finish right around the 20 minute mark. So unfortunately I don't have an exact time because I wasn't recording for about half a mile of it. But again, like Michael, it was I kind of went out. I was tired. The legs were definitely tired. We were kind of grumping our way through our 2 mile warm up, and we're like, we told each other, let's just do it. Let's let's not think about the PR necessarily. Let's just treat this as a workout. It's the training day. And we just went and ran. I think one thing personally, I think that helped me this time versus the last 5K time trial we did. Well, one, my glute wasn't hurt, and two, I was really more conscious about the start of it, where I used to have a tendency of really just blazing it all out, in that first mile and a half, where I just would steadily kind of die out. But I felt I wanted to keep that first mile in check, right around the pace that he and I were both trying to shoot at. And I knew if I could just get through consciously that first half of the run, I did feel pretty confident that the rest would take me through. So overall, I was pretty pleased. I was pleased with it. Again, I did, like Michael, I had no intention of I got to go break the PR today. We were both just really wanting to focus on the training aspect of it, and just making sure we were able to get done what we needed to get done to set us up for the next couple of weeks.
Perfect. And you said a couple of really great things in there. Probably the biggest takeaway for anybody watching this is, the golden nugget in there is don't go out too fast. And I'm glad that you have internalized that lesson, because that, more than anything, guys, in long distance running, that is the best way to destroy your race. Because if you go out 5-10 seconds per mile too fast in that first couple of miles in a half marathon or a full marathon, trust me, there's no cheating it. You will pay double to triple in how much your pace drops off for those last few miles in a longer race. So just be conscious of that, and you guys are going to kill it, because Jack, that performance was amazing. To do that on tired legs, you guys are just going to be, it's going to be a pleasure to watch the splits. And if I can watch the live times come in during the Myrtle run, I just can't wait, because I will know. I think I can probably predict within 30 seconds of what both of your finishing times will be once I've seen the first 2 to 3 miles of your paces when you take off that start line. And as far as I'm concerned, I think you're both looking at 134s, if not 133s. I think you're both going to be somewhere 134 low to 133 high. Everything I'm seeing, I've consulted the charts behind the scenes, guys. So I know exactly, these are not just pot shot guesses. This is what I think you guys can expect, as long as you're very careful at the beginning, and assuming that the weather isn't, like one of those insane hot Myrtle days that nobody wants. But
pops out of nowhere. Yep.
Yeah. But if you guys get the weather, if you guys are looking at 45 to 55 degrees in Myrtle on October 17th, you guys are just ready to destroy. So well done. Now let's move on. I want to talk to Joel, because Joel is coming off of a rather disheartening situation with his hamstring. But we're doing our best to try to stay focused here and to realize that there is a way back. Prior to Joel hurting himself, he proved in his time trial that he already had the goods in hand to be able to do what he needs to do at the Georgina Marathon to qualify for Boston. The whole trick now for both of us is trying to wait long enough to give that hamstring a chance to heal without pushing it too hard, but still leaving him enough time to build his confidence with a few runs, because the idea of a 2-week taper for Joel at this point is out the window. If we're going to use the next 3 weeks to his best advantage, the next 7 days are very likely to be all about giving that hamstring a chance to heal as much as it can. And then we're going to spend, instead of tapering downwards, folks, Joel and I will be working to taper upwards to give him the confidence and to kind of just wake his legs up again. Like I said, he's already got the strength. Nothing's happened in 2 weeks that's going to take away what the strength that he's built over the last 12 weeks prior to that. So we just kind of need to get his mind and his body in check again once the hamstring has given us indications that it's ready to go again. So Joel, with that, let's just talk about, first of all, because we got to go back to last week. So I don't think the viewers really have much in the way of detail. After your time trial was over, you went and you ran a hard workout, and that's where things went south fast. So kind of talk through that whole process and how we attempted maybe a little too early last week to kind of try to push you to working out again. But, okay, let's just roll through that whole process.
Yeah, I think I'm just looking at Strava right now, and I think I was so disgusted I didn't save the run. The first run after the time trial. And I think it was, we might have taken a day. No, I think it was the Tuesday. So I took the Monday off. And then the Tuesday, we just wanted to do like a 6K easy.
Yep.
And I only got probably not a kilometer into the run when my leg really seized up.
Yeah.
And I could feel like every step, it was tightening up right down into my calf. It was bizarre. Yeah. So I don't know if I think I did try another run.
Yep. We actually got to the point where because I think that first easy run, we felt like we could probably give you a day's rest in between and then go out there and actually try to test it at marathon pace.
Okay.
And
Yep.
that's when things kind of went wonky.
Right. So that's right. So actually, what it was I did a 3-mile test. This was a week after the time trial, so a whole week has passed. So I did one about 22K on the bike on the Saturday, on the Sunday after the time trial, and it felt good. It felt fine. So I rode the bike again on the Monday, a little further, and just to test it out, and everything was fine. Tuesday, I did the 3 miles.
Easy, yeah.
Easy on the treadmill, and it held up. I rode the bike the next day, about the same, like pretty hard, but you would think the bike would aggravate the hand, but it's different. It's a different spot. So
Yeah.
where the injury is, it's kind of like right above my knee, just like towards the outside of my knee, and the bike doesn't really put pressure on that spot.
Yeah.
So yeah, then the Thursday we decided to do a 5-miler, but ramp up to marathon pace. And when I got to the marathon, I'm like, okay, everything's fine, and my cardio like is still good. Everything's still good. But yeah, in that 3rd mile, when I got to marathon pace, I couldn't make it through the mile before everything just the same behavior again.
Yeah, and I'm glad you called it immediately. I'm glad you cut the run immediately.
Yeah, like in this case, like really, there's no way to keep running. Like once that, it's a very like it's almost like an explosive, like it's a very immediate, like massive trigger. It's not like a slow sore thing. It's like,
oh, absolutely. Yeah,
it's
no.
like, it's not there, it's not there, it's not there, it's there. And then I only get about 20 more steps before I can't run.
Yeah.
So,
no, it was exactly the same thing, just to harken back to when I had my first IT band injury 6 years ago at this point. It's the same thing. I was in mile like 22 of a 24-mile run, ramping up way too fast, trying to get ready for a marathon that I shouldn't have run. And there was this moment of like, it was this stunning pain, sharp, stunning, to the point where it felt almost like cold steel going through my knee. That struck so fast, it almost felt like it tickled at first, and then just the debilitating pain. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the nature of what's the term I'm looking for, of injury, as opposed to what you were describing, which is like discomfort, extreme discomfort. There's a big difference between injury
like chronic soreness, because I've had sore hamstrings for a whole season, and I'm just like, well, after 10K they'll feel better. This is like, no, this is, there's no running once that trigger point hits.
Oh, exactly. It's done. And the whole thing is now, we've got 9 minutes before Zoom gives us the boot, guys. So I'm going to cut to the chase a little bit here. Joel, what we're trying to do now, Joel is now, after having rested for a couple of days after that with no activity, we're trying to do a day on the bike, a day of full rest, a day on the bike. And now at this point, as of today, tomorrow will probably be, if I'm correct, will be your second day on the bike after, kind of leapfrogging them with days of rest. And what we're going to try to do this coming week, and what we will be reporting back on next week, Joel is going to be going real light like that. We're not even going to touch running until maybe Saturday, because that will leave us in a position where we've got 2 full weeks for a ramp up. And hopefully by the time we're a week and a half from now, hopefully Joel will have run 2, maybe 3 times by then, and we will have either confirmation that he's good to start opening up that training, just to kind of, not to try to build strength, not to try to build stamina. He's already got that. What we're going to try to do at that point is just kind of get Joel's mind and body working together again. Get them used to doing the kind of things that they're capable of doing if the hamstring wants to play along. I'm just trying to extend the rest period as far as I can now, folks, so that he's got a better opportunity to heal. You know, I think we pushed it a little too quickly the last time and we paid the price. Joel did, you know, I mean, I feel terrible about it, but Joel's the one paying the price. But
well, Paul, I want to say, like, I think there's no other logical way to approach this, right? Like the steps that we took, these are the right steps to take, right? You have to kind of.
Yeah, but I just wish we'd done this kind of leapfrogging of less stressful stuff with a day off in between last week. I think we might have discovered that you were nowhere near as far along the healing curve as we'd hoped last week if I had been a little bit more careful about the way we went about it, instead of going bike, run. That was, you know, what can I do besides apologize to the end?
No, I don't. I think the approach was absolutely correct. I don't think there's a better way to do it, because what we were trying to do was like this goal, that 320 goal, that is everything has to be just perfect for me to get that. So I think what we did was makes total sense with that goal in mind.
Yeah.
To me now, it's just like, okay, let's just be able to run. Step one.
Well, exactly. And that's why we're
get to the marathon, and then, you know, hopefully.
Yeah, I just don't want you arriving at the marathon start line with that well, let's see how this goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can just fit it in where this reverse taper kind of gets you to a point where you're like, damn straight, I can do this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And of course there's going to be that lingering doubt of, am I going to be at mile 10 and suddenly the hamstring goes again? But that's just something we're going to have to live with. But I want you to know, I want you to at least know in your mind that I want to remind you of the strength that you have, because nothing's gone anywhere, dude. You know, in 2 weeks, that less time has passed since your time trial than a normal taper length anyway. So as far as your body is concerned, it's just rested and raring to go. It's just a matter of that damn hamstring letting us through that gate so that you can fly.
I'm driving everyone around me completely nuts. That's how badly I need to be moving around. It is not good if I'm not moving around. Tapers are terrible.
Yeah, under the best conditions. Yeah. So,
yeah.
So, dude, let me just say this: get on the bike tomorrow. The whole point of the bike is not even so much as a rehab thing. It's just to keep your metabolism moving. Because to go from that kind of crazy level of training down to nothing is not good. You know,
no, it's not good.
It does everything. It just screws with your mind. It screws with your body. You just kind of want to keep burning calories, you know? And by the time this coming weekend arrives, we'll test this thing and we'll know. We'll get the first either good signs or that we're definitely hanging on, and we'll try another training block in the future. But hopefully that is not where we end up. I'm going to do everything I can. Trust me, I've been reading and doing research behind the scenes here to do everything I can to help you along this.
Well, I don't want you to feel bad, man, because first of all, this happens, right? I mean, this happens.
But you know what I want to say is, I want to say not on my watch. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that
the truth is, like, especially for me, and like there are a lot of injuries over the last 10 years. It happens. Like, we were trying to get me to a point that I've never been before.
Well, you're there. Dude.
It makes sense.
The thing is, you're there. We just got to get past this one thing. But I really don't mean to cut you short, because we could go back and forth on this. Never mind the guilt and all that stuff. But stay positive. We're doing everything we can within reason to get you where you want so badly to be.
Right.
You know, you've put in the work. You deserve a shot at it. Let's just get you that shot. So, folks, how's that for a cliffhanger? Tune in next week, and y'all get to hear about what we've been up to. Michael, Jack, just take it easy. Don't do anything crazy out there. You guys are ready to destroy at the race. So just keep on keeping on. Joel, we'll be in touch constantly through this coming week. With that, everybody, get healthy, stay strong, keep pushing. We'll catch you next week with the big updates. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.